Hey, this week on the program, Micah's wearing another weird hoodie. Brent is wearing another black t-shirt, and I am not wearing underwear. Welcome to the show.
This is a theme song.
Hey, welcome back to the program, nerds. I am Larry Brantley, and I am here as always with my two besties, Micah Donahoe.
Why did I screw up things with Karen Page?
And Brent Williams.
No.
And indeed, we're going to get to that just as soon as we possibly can. And we, along with our producer, Chris Hockenberry, are the Nerdherfers. We are four middle-aged guys who enjoy whiskey and cigars and all the nerdy shit we loved when we were kids, and also as adults. And boy, oh boy, are we going to get into it this evening. Hey, if you have never watched the show before, if you've never listened to the podcast before, welcome. We're happy to have you here. And also, we would love for you to go out to nerdherfers.com and hit that subscribe button. That's going to clue you in and make you part of the Nerdherfer Nation. On that website, we've got all kinds of cool stuff. We've got a merch shop. We have, of course, all of our episodes archived. We've got a cigar shop. Fun stuff that Brent is always tinkering with that. And it's
I am a tinkerer.
You are a tinkerer. He literally cannot stop.
I love to tinker.
You can also go out to our YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/@nerdherfer. Wow, that was real. Did you hear that? That was real. youtube.com/@nerdherfers. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see us in our middle-aged glory. That was a joke.
Mike is just sitting over there because he can't see anything.
He can't. Completely blind.
Well, I'm trying to be stoic and resentful of my past.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You're doing a
Well,
great job.
At least last time you referred to me as Steve Rogers, and this time now I'm like hyper aware that I'm Micah.
Yeah. Sorry.
On that note,
yeah. Let's here we go. Okay, what Mike is doing now is he's taking off the weird hoodie, and I was just about to say exposing himself, but that was not going to play very well.
That's a different kind of podcast.
That was not going to play very well. Anyway, you might want to put your glasses back on too, buddy, just so you can see. Okay, here is how the show works. If you've never tuned in before, or if you have tuned in for the 7th or maybe 8th time, every week, one of us picks a bottle of whiskey that we're going to review. One of us picks a cigar that we are going to review, and we're going to do all that while we talk about the topic of conversation that we intend to nerd out about. And hang on. Now, do we do the first bit before or after we get started?
What first bit?
The nerd news.
Oh, that bit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nerd news. It's all of last week's nerd news today. Hey, it's time once again to go over to the broadcast booth and our anchor person, Brent Williams, who's got some fun, weird, unusual, and probably nerdy stuff to talk about. Brent?
I do. Okay, so you remember that time I talked about this company called Colossal Biosciences?
Yes.
And they want to de-extinct things like the woolly mammoth?
Yes.
Well, they came out, I believe it was yesterday, the day before, with this article about how they have created the woolly mouse. They edited the genes of a mouse, and they took traits that were similar to like what a woolly mammoth would have.
oh my god!
And put them, edited the genes of the mice.
So they didn't see Hunger Games.
Yeah. And so they made woolly mice. And so they're like, this is the first step on the way for us to de-extincting the woolly mammoth, which they say they are on track to do by 2028.
We're going to have woolly mammoths by 2028.
Well, so what they want to do is they want to take Asian elephants and edit their genes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on a second. I'm not done.
Okay. It gets better.
So they're sitting there going, look how cool we are. And other scientists are going, not so much. They're like, literally, there was a company that did this 20 years ago. They created, you can actually buy a woolly mouse strain.
Oh.
Like at 7-Eleven? You can just like go get
just
one.
Order it off the internet off the interwebs. But anyway, the more I'm reading this article, I'm like, I think this is a prequel to Jurassic Park. I'm pretty sure this is how it starts. And the next thing you know, city's overrun with T-Rex and
I agree with you. You're not on the road to a woolly mammoth. You made a hairy mouse. That's what you did.
Yep.
Aren't they already hairy?
Well, they have fur, but so maybe now they look more like a Lhasa Apso than a mouse.
Okay.
But that's you know what? Do better, whatever your long name of your company is.
Okay. Scientists from Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory have developed the world's first mobile genome sequencer, and it's actually an iPhone app. It's called iGenomics, and it pairs with. They have these mobile DNA sequencers now. They're little tiny handheld DNA sequencers, in what they're calling a device similar to a tricorder.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's really cool.
does it look like a tricorder?
Well, it's an iPhone and a little box, so not really.
So no. Okay.
There was something that came out like maybe I want to say 5 to 10 years ago where they issued a challenge to the scientific community that they would pay an exorbitant amount of money to have a tricorder invented.
Really?
With the various attributes that the Star Trek tricorder does have. So I don't even know whatever came of that, but it's kind of cool to see that they're making progress.
That's kind of cute. That's kind of cute. Okay, and lastly, this is the last one. I'm just going to
Got it.
This
I
is the
appreciate
last
it.
story.
Thank you for telegraphing.
NASA and Nokia depends on where you're from. They're bringing 4G to the moon, so that the landers and stuff can communicate in real time over.
I was going to say so the astronauts can watch porn on the moon.
I think it's going to be localized to the moon. I don't think that'd be quite a feat if they could get cell signals from Earth on the moon.
So why not 5G?
Maybe because the equipment has to withstand like really harsh environments. It's got to withstand the travel there, the landing, extreme cold, extreme heat, that kind of stuff, radiation, extreme amounts of radiation. So maybe that's the highest. It's like when modems started, and 2400 was the best they could do. At that time. So.
I always thought it was a limiting thing, like the light bulb, where they had said that a light bulb was actually invented that lasts forever, but then they couldn't sell it. Yeah. So they started like making an incrementally more. You've never heard of this? You're looking at me like
I've never
freaking crazy.
Functional obsolescence.
I mean, I look at you like that anyway.
We've talked about
fine.
that. We've talked about that. It's functional obsolescence.
Functional obsolescence, yes.
Oh, because Brent said it.
No,
now it makes
I
total
remember the
sense.
term.
Well, I said the actual words. I didn't have to make Larry think.
Yeah, thank you for not making me think.
Yeah, but I felt like I was
Shame
sitting
on
under
you.
his eyebrow. It was just forcing it right up.
Shame on you for making me think. You think I do this show to think?
So,
Come on. Anyway, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Nerd News. Send your terse emails to whatever the name of that giant-ass company was in Dallas and tell them to stop making hairy mice. Okay, let's kick this off. As we said at the top of the show, every week one of us brings a bottle, one of us brings a cigar, and then we pass them around and we share, and then we start talking about nerdy stuff, and oh my God, I can't wait to get into this. But first, we need something to drink, and for that, we go back to Brent Williams. What'd you bring for us this week, buddy?
So Micah, tonight I was actually going to bring Angel's Envy.
Oops.
Yeah. And Michael brought that last show. So it's
Sorry,
okay.
bruh.
That's why I had two choices ready just in case, because we never know. That's one of the
that is true.
that's one of the dangers of not discussing these things.
I
ahead
can't
of time.
believe you were
Yeah.
going to bring a mainstream like this entire
Oh
for
no,
a whole
I still
year.
I still have a mainstream. I have a very mainstream.
Okay.
I mean, I know 100% that you guys have both had this.
Okay.
I'm wondering if it's going to be the one that I was planning next week.
And
So-
this is how what we call the mainstream wars started.
So yeah, this is another one of those bourbons that everybody knows, everybody's had it. Even they probably don't even know they have it. If you've had a mixed drink at a bar, it's probably been in there. You can drink it straight, or it's kind of like Angel's Envy, right? Drink it straight or mix it. It's good both ways. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get to it. Hold on.
All right.
I have to get out.
Yes, you do. Meanwhile, Brent is making all the old man noises.
Ah, okay.
Our good friends at
It's Woodford Reserve. So a little bit about this. It is 90.4 proof. So, like I said, it is made. It's mash bill: 72% corn, 18% rye, 10% malted barley. It's made from a combination of column and pot still. So, and there's really not that much more to say about this because it's
They do
very,
serve
very
it on
common.
American Airlines flights.
It's a classic mainstay. It's
Ask
like
me how I know.
I have like an array of different bourbons that I absolutely love to have, and if they don't have it, then Woodford's always my standby.
All right, here we go. Oh, wait for the sound. Wait for the sound.
Oh wait, sorry. Oh, that wasn't. That was good enough. I did splash.
That
on
was
myself.
about a Woodford.
There we go.
Yeah, that's all you can get. That's
yeah. You're more generous than the flight attendants on the planes that I go. All right, so we are now pouring ourselves some Woodford Reserve. Thank you, sir. And, okay, look, you can poo-poo it if you want to, bourbon snobs, but honestly, it's a decent drop. Yeah. It is a decent drop. It makes a damn good cocktail. And you can drink it neat, which is what we're doing right now. There's a reason they sell so much of this stuff, and there's a reason they serve it on American Airlines, the official partner of Nerdherfers, but not really.
I thought that was
no
Buffalo
idea who we
Trace.
are.
I'm getting isopropyl alcohol on the nose.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, what is that flavor?
I think Micah just said it.
No, it's actually quite good.
Clearly, you've not drunk enough
Getting
rubbing
like
alcohol.
I'm getting a little butterscotch.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, that's butterscotch.
I mean, so just to be completely fair, like I said before, I like Woodford Reserve. It's not in my cabinet at home. It is just a go-to when they don't have the bourbon I'm looking for.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I have. The way I have it too. Like like I have Elijah Craig too that I keep in there.
Okay.
And that's another one of my
Yeah.
if I want to make a mix real quick, or if I'm out of other bourbons that I want to drink, I can hit up the Elijah Craig.
Do you guys ever get to a point where you're at a bar with friends or something and
I don't have any friends. So
Yeah, me neither. I've never been to a bar.
But what is a bar? Explain bar.
I'll wait.
Come on, man.
I'll wait. You ever get to a point like you go to a friend with bars?
You go to your friends behind bars.
Oh,
I've actually done that. I've done that.
Anyway, you go and you look at their bourbon selection, and it's pretty much garbage, right? And you're like, do you have anything behind the counter? And you're like probing for different things. And then your friends kind of lean over and go, it's not that kind of bar, Micah.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, but do you have
Yeah.
Woodford? And they're like, Micah, seriously, it's not that kind of bar. You might be able to get Makers.
Wow. Or Jim Beam.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Jim Beam. Hopefully it's Jim Beam with honey.
Sorry, that was my gag reflex, everyone.
for me, so Woodford for me is like one of those just everyday drinkers.
Yes, it's a nice everyday drinker.
Yeah.
Well done, you. Okay, it was Micah's turn.
Nope, your turn.
No.
Sticks next.
Oh, no, that's what
I have
no,
sticks next,
you
Micah.
had- he just had the bottle.
I have bottle and
hang
sticks
on,
in it.
Hang on just one second.
Larry has
I
stuff.
sent this to all of my fellow podcasters today, where I said, hey, here's the schedule for episodes 1 and 2. And tell me what that says there, buddy.
It says that I've got sticks.
It sure does.
So what we haven't announced yet is that where are we today, Larry?
Oh my gosh.
Man, thank you very much for saying that. I apologize, you guys. We are coming to you tonight from Industrial Cigar Company in Frisco, Texas.
Stuttering Bill.
Yes. And once again, our good friends at Industrial are putting up with our shenanigans for this week and next week. So thank you to the guys at Industrial Cigar. And so Micah was just in their humidor. And what did you find?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I'm kind of excited about. When we come and do things at Industrial, I love going into the humidor because they have an array of very special treats.
They do. And that's also where the cigars are.
Okay. Mr. Producer, sir.
Oh.
That's a sweet, sweet man right there.
There you go. All right, what I have for you today is the Fittipaldi Silver Churchill Maduro.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Wow, that was a mouthful.
All right.
Oh my goodness, look at the cello on that.
Yeah. And the plume.
And
Ooh.
and all of those oil pockets. Do you see them?
Yeah.
Aren't those gorgeous?
So I thought these were sold out.
Yeah, so the cool thing about this is that they've been around. They're actually been aged for 25 years.
Yes.
Yep.
And this has got a Dominican Republic filler, a Dominican Republic binder, and the wrapper is a Brazilian Maduro.
So Cigars 101, kids. If you want to know if you're holding in your hand an aged cigar that's been well held, the cellophane will turn yellow. It'll be nice and yellow. We got this nice yellow sheen to it. You got a little bit of plume on that cigar, which is not the same thing as mold. Don't let anybody tell you that it is. So yeah, this was, and when did they make this cigar again? Do you remember?
I do not know.
It's from the 90s. It's like
isn't
90,
it from the
99.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're gonna we are gonna smoke these like it's 1999. Yeah, I said that. Yeah. Yeah. So what Hawk was saying there behind the camera is what plume is. It's the sugars, the natural sugars in the tobacco leaf coming out as they age.
Look at that.
Isn't that
gorgeous
purty?
color.
So purty. All right, let's get this done. Okay. Do.
Mike, I actually have one of these in my humidor and I haven't smoked it yet.
I actually have smoked one of these.
Oh, cold draw. Ooh, cedar.
Cedar.
Tons of
Aged cedar.
Yeah.
Like my grandma had this cool sort of foot locker at the foot of her bed that was made entirely out of cedar. That's it was always a very comforting smell.
Yeah, it's interesting. Mine is very musty.
Oh man.
This may actually be the mustiest cigar I've ever cold drawn.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get musty on the cold and I'm not getting it with it lit either. But
No, I do know what you're talking about.
but
There
I do know what you're talking
there is
about.
a
Yeah.
mustiness to it, but it's not unpleasant to me at all.
No, it reminds me of an old attic.
You never know what you're gonna find.
wow, that's a good smoke.
That's very good. So that is the Fittipaldi, manufactured in 1999. We're smoking a cigar from 99, you guys. That's actually really kind of cool.
Yeah,
So, all right, we are off and running.
This cigar-
We've
this
got our
cigar's,
Woodford Reserve.
definitely. Thank you to Industrial for this, because every time I come here, they've got two different parts to their humidor, and I won't take up much time with this. But one of the things I love about this place is that
Story time.
One of the things that I really love about this place is that their humidor is divided into two parts: the main humidor, and then there's this safe within the humidor where they keep their special treats.
Their fancy stuff. I just realized 1999, this cigar is older than Micah.
Wow, that's amazing.
God, I wish you were more funny.
And Fittipaldi, maybe we should tell them who Fittipaldi was.
Knock yourself out.
Chris knows. I don't know. Chris knows.
Larry
Chris is not on a microphone. So, hey, we'll learn all about Fittipaldi and tell you in an episode down the line. I think he was an F1 racer, was he not? Yeah, he was a
an F1
Formula
racer.
One racer who then got into cigars.
Yep.
He ran. Was he running like in the Senna days? Yeah, he was running with like Ayrton Senna and Schumacher and all those guys. So look him up, especially if you're an F1 fan, because the season's finally about to start up again. It's been forever.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about tonight, kids.
Nope.
Here's what we're talking about tonight. Okay, now, hardcore MCU fan nerds throughout the Nerdverse have been waiting for this show for years. And it finally dropped. We are recording this on a Wednesday night. It dropped last night. It dropped the first 2 episodes on Disney Plus after a long, long hiatus, after a multitude of rewrites and restructure and COVID and every other damn thing in the world. Last night, we finally got the first 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. And we got to talk about it. Now, before we launch into the first 2 episodes that we all watched last night, let's back up a little bit, talk a little bit about the history of the character of Daredevil and his iteration on Netflix. And for that, I'm going to turn it over to Micah, because Micah and I are both huge DD fans. Well, I know you are too. But obviously, you can tell by the hoodie that Micah's a little
Nerd.
above the rest in terms of us. So give us a brief history of the character of Daredevil.
So Daredevil is a wonderful character. When they did even Ben Affleck's version of this and the beginning part of...
I've been beneflected.
Yeah. Right. Oh, I got some Ben Affleck on me. Oh, that's terrible. Does anyone have
an
a
inflection?
salve or a cream?
I have an inflection, people.
Yes.
All right. So when the Affleck did those insurance commercials. No, when he did the movie, and when Charlie Cox did the series, they stuck really close to the character origins. It's not like in Iron Man where they had to change the antagonists from Asian to Middle Eastern to fit the times when the movie came out. Right.
Yeah.
In this case, Dad is a boxer. We don't know much about Mom because I can tell you that Matt Murdock's mother, I don't remember it being mentioned very often in the comic books.
Yeah.
Now, if you watch the Netflix version, then you get history on Mom.
Yeah, it's season 3.
Yep. And in this one, Dad's a boxer. He's also working part-time as a
He's a mob enforcer.
He's a mob enforcer. So that's kind of the line in there. And he ends up Matty gets caught into a chemical accident that splashes in his eyes, blinds him, but also reorganizes his DNA to allow hypersensitivity on all his other senses.
Yeah. And one of the things that I always loved about Daredevil, as well as like Spider-Man and a few of the others, is they're what we call a street level superhero.
Yep.
Right? So within the wider Marvel universe, comics and movies and TV shows, you've got, deity like guys like Thor and the Eternals and whatever that that's all intergalactic stuff. It's all big stuff.
Right.
What I absolutely loved about Marvel, I thought they did better than anybody, was create these street level superheroes. They're people who are trying to live normal lives. They just so happen to either have abilities or they're enhanced some way or whatever. And Matt Murdock is probably my favorite one. He's a blind guy, but he's got, super senses. He doesn't have super strength, agility, whatever. He's just a highly, highly trained dude, with just a couple of cool things like his billy clubs that they can go together. And he's got his retractable grappler in it. And he basically just, takes care of his own neighborhood in New York City, Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen.
So he's a superhero who stays in his lane, which I always thought that was great. And so now let's move from the comics up into the Netflix series. So when they went to Netflix, one of the reasons that they went to Netflix initially is because they wanted to hew very closely to the original, to the source material.
Yeah.
And Daredevil is dark. It is dark and it is violent.
And so is the comic.
Yeah. And Netflix wasn't afraid to do that. They gave us 3 seasons plus the Defenders. And he had cameos, I think, in Jessica Jones and
No Way Home.
No Way Home. Well, that was a little later, but I don't think he had a cameo in Luke Cage though.
No,
I don't, because that was in Harlem.
No, Jessica Jones was pretty much the cameo.
Yeah, and then there was Defenders, and then but we got to see this the world of Matt Murdock, his best friend and business partner Foggy Nelson, and then another good friend comes into the picture. Her name is Karen Page. Just a great trio of characters living in this neighborhood, and maybe one of the greatest villains of all time, Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, played in this case brilliantly by Vincent D'Onofrio.
100%.
So I want to get you guys' opinions of the Netflix years, the first 3 seasons when we were sort of reintroduced cinematically to the character of Daredevil. Yes, we had the Ben Affleck version. And I want to say, and I really wish I'd done my homework on this, I want to say there was actually an earlier TV version of Daredevil.
I don't remember one.
I will go and check
we'll have
that
to fact
out.
check that one. I don't remember.
I don't know if it was a
representation.
cameo, because there was the Amazing Spider-Man TV show, that horrible show where he scrabbled up walls.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
I can't remember if Daredevil maybe made a cameo in that one. But anyway, what did you guys think about the first 3 seasons of Daredevil on Netflix and in that world?
I mean, to be honest, it's been a while since I've seen them. I actually was watching the last season yesterday to prepare for the premiere of Born Again last night, and even in the last episode, there were things I forgotten about. But no, I do love the adaptation. So I didn't read a lot of Daredevil comic books. I was mostly Wolverine, X-Men type stuff. But I do remember from the few I read, yes, you're right. It was very gritty. It was very dark. It was very gory. But I mean, I loved the show. I thought that they did a great job on the show. Now, I think, I'm not going to get ahead. I'll just say this. I think just from the first 2 episodes of Born Again, I think it's way ahead of the Netflix versions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it even could be.
Yeah.
So the original Daredevil comic started off much like the Captain America one did, where he was just an absolute ass kicker.
Yeah.
He was so determined, right? I mean, like you said before, he's a normal guy with normal tools. He's been given a ton of training that anybody that's been given this much training, but he has the edge, right? Because he can feel, he can touch, he can smell. All these hypersenses allow him to react faster than a normal person trained with those basic abilities.
And one thing that they sort of hinted at, which becomes very glaringly obvious in the first 3 seasons in the Netflix years, is the fact that he was the son of this boxer who...
Lightning Jack
Murdoch, who could take a beating.
Yeah.
So genetically, we know that Matt can take a beating, and he does get the crap kicked out of him a lot.
Exactly.
Every fight.
And it's
Almost every fight.
Yeah.
but he just keeps getting back up.
Yeah.
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 He's like the Energizer Bunny of ass kick. He
Right.
just keeps getting back up.
Yep, and that's one of the cool things about this is that it starts off that way, and then if you don't know, audience, Frank Miller got his hands on the writing and the art eventually, and if you know Frank Miller, you know you're going to get some really nice gritty stuff. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then so we move into later on, and we'll skip over the Affliction and go right into the Marvel series. Daredevil being one of my favorite characters of all time, and I was already a fan of Charlie Cox. I'd seen him in plenty of other things, even in Stardust. He was so great.
Yeah.
And then so when I found out he was going to be the character and the way they portrayed him, it was just fantastic. He's a good-looking guy. He can't commit to anything. His personal life, much like Spider-Man, severely suffers.
Yeah.
With his vigilantism.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that a word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Vigilantism.
Suffers? Yeah, it's a word.
thanks. And that's why I loved it so much. So I mean, I was hooked on this show. The storylines that they pulled were like straight from the comics. I mean, there was a lot of really fun things that they did with the character.
Yeah, they introduced some really and again, I knew next to nothing about the casting or anything when they announced that it was going to be a television series on Netflix. But when they did announce Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk, I thought there's literally no one else they could have cast.
I
He's
challenge
one of those actors
you
that
to find a better actor for
Yeah.
that character.
Yeah, he's one of those actors that
even better than Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah. I mean, come on. But it's everything about that was just fantastic. And then, so here's what happened. Storyline.
Spoiler alert.
We did 3 seasons of Daredevil, and they wound up also doing some other street level heroes on Netflix. They did The Punisher, played brilliantly by Johnny Bernthal. They did Jessica Jones. That was Kristen Ritter. Oh my gosh, so great. Yeah. Wasn't crazy about Iron Fist.
No.
I don't think anybody was. And then eventually there was a big team up, and that was the Defenders. So it was all these street level heroes coming together to fight this greater evil. Now, at that point, Disney bought back the rights. So now they own all those characters. And we all collectively clenched our buttholes because we know or we suspect that all these characters are either going to disappear forever
Or
they're going to come
birds.
back and be Disneyfied.
Yeah, singing
Right?
birds and
so
foxes.
that actually, we now know that was on the table. That was actually underway. And we got a hint of it when Marvel did a Disney Plus series called She-Hulk. Because Matt Murdock's character makes a cameo appearance in She-Hulk.
Yep.
And I hated every second of it. Because for 2 reasons. Number one, he was wearing a costume that made it look like he was a mashup of 2 different bottles of Heinz ketchup and mustard. And 2, they were trying to pull him off as this sort of kinder, gentler Daredevil who was now almost in a sidekick role to She-Hulk.
Yeah, that was a hard pill to swallow. The only thing that was cool about the costume is if you'd ever read the books, and
It was a total nod. Yeah,
it was a gratuitous nod towards the yellow and red costume that he used to wear a very long time ago. Never one of my favorites. Always had to be darker.
and for me, that cameo wasn't so much about the costume he was wearing as the way he was being.
Yeah. I mean, they brought him in to show it's like, oh, this is where Daredevil shops for his costumes.
Yeah,
and these are the women that he sleeps with on his off
They
time.
were literally teeing him up to be like a rom-com character, and the internet exploded. And then a very good thing for Marvel fans happened: COVID. Because it was during COVID that they actually started listening to the fan base, and more importantly, the original showrunners and writers of the first 3 seasons of Daredevil on Netflix. And they said, if you try to present a Disney-fied version of this beloved, street-level, gritty, dark superhero, people will reject it out of hand. And Disney's not stupid. There's a reason they have Disney money.
True story.
And so, so during COVID and then during the writer strike and everything that followed, it was completely retooled. I mean, they had even gone so far as to say that the characters Foggy Nelson and Karen Page probably weren't going to be returning.
I heard that too.
And so, like, everyone who loved this show when it was on Netflix was up in arms, and for very good reason. And I will tell you right now that if the character Foggy Nelson were here, he'd want to know about the first third of this cigar.
I was just waiting for it.
So let's talk about this Fittipaldi for a little bit, boys. We're going to get back to Daredevil in just a minute. Don't you worry. For a cigar that was rolled in 1999, the construction on this is really good.
Yeah.
I expect the ash to be a little bit flaky, and I'm not disappointed, but that's okay because that's not why you smoke a cigar that was rolled in 1999.
I love those little oil pockets.
I know.
Yeah.
The delicious little flavor bursts.
I mean, it's been taken care of because, I mean, like you said, the color of the solo, the plume on it, that just means it's been taken care of.
Yeah, definitely.
So
yeah, I like this. It's very earthy. It's this. If it was around more often, when you can get your hands on it, it's a very everyday smoke for me. It's a medium bodied cigar. It's not too rich. It's darker, but it's not too rich. It's not too imposing.
So that cedar for me is kind of turning a little nutty now.
Yeah, so for me, cedar, nutty, it's a dry mouthfeel, and it's just extremely pleasant.
Does the dry mouthfeel have anything to do with its age? That's an honest question.
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the science behind it. I will tell you that
Chris says no.
That generally speaking, it's going to have more to do with the tobacco and the blend, than anything else. Cigars, you either hold them well or you do not. This one has clearly been held very well because it's holding up. Because you can tell right away if you ever get your hands on a cigar that's got aged cellophane on it, you pull it out and you clip it carefully, and then you light it, and it immediately unravels on you. That cigar's not been held well.
Yeah.
But that's the case with any cigar, right? So in this case, this one has not only held its construction well, but it's held its flavor very well.
Getting a mild pepper on it as well.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm not getting that.
Right on the back.
Right on the
I
back.
like it.
All right, let's get back into Daredevil. So to bring you up to speed so far, we had 3 great seasons of Daredevil on Netflix. It was dark, it was gritty, it was real, it was bloody. It was everything that a Daredevil fan loved.
Yep.
Then Disney got it. Then we all kind of went, uh-oh. And then we got this cameo of Matt Murdock in the She-Hulk series, which hopefully that's never coming back. Where it kind of looked like that Disney was telegraphing this is what Daredevil's going to be like from now on. And we all went, no, we don't want that. And finally, COVID and the writer's strike, and Disney came to their senses, and Kevin Feige stepped up, and now we've got the Daredevil back that we always loved. And oh my goodness, not only did they say we're not doing a kinder, gentler Daredevil, we are going to freak you the hell out within the first episode. and they
10
did
minutes.
not disappoint. And by the way, huge spoiler alerts
time.
coming.
Yeah.
Huge spoiler alerts coming. I will tell you this. We all watched the first 2 episodes last night when they dropped. Brent and I happened to be together because Spectrum sucks. Oh, did I say that out loud? Hey, Spectrum, fix my internet. It's been out for 2 days. That's ridiculous. Anyway, I went over to Brent's house, and we're sitting there, and we are so excited. We are watching this, and that first scene comes, and it's Nelson. What was it? Was it Nelson, Murdoch, and Page?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nelson, Murdoch, and Page.
yeah.
It's a little street level sign. We're like,
NMP.
okay,
They actually said
they
NMP.
did. Yes.
I'm really enjoying my time at NMP.
There were these few moments of like genuine, like they finally figured out their relationships and their friendships,
Yeah.
and they're all
Let's get everybody
and they're
nice and
working
comfy
together, and they're at
and
the bar the
Life
neighborhood
is happy,
bar,
Josie's.
and frickin' Bullseye shows up. And the first thing he does is he murders Foggy
He
Nelson.
puts a bullet right through his heart. And when I saw that puffed, I don't even know if that's a word, puffed of blood come out of Foggy's chest, I was just like,
That's it.
what?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So I had heard that they were bringing back Foggy and Page for this. And I was so excited because even in the comics, they're still a mainstay. Right. I mean, now in the 70s, just to be fair, Karen Page left New York for California to go spend time with Ghost Rider, and she became an actress.
Okay.
But later on, I mean, she makes her way back to New York, and I really liked that they put her in there. And she wasn't just like in the early days; she was a secretary,
Right.
And when she came back to here, now she's actually what
She was their investigator.
Yes, she worked
Nelson
on the
Murdoch.
team, and apparently now that it's Nelson Murdoch and Page, she's pursued her law degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was so fantastic.
Yeah,
and by this, I can't tell if they're going to if Paige is coming back.
Yeah, I would actually after the 2 episodes that we saw last night, I would be shocked if Karen Page comes back.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching some early interviews with Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio where they said that something happens at the beginning of the series that changes everything. Now, when they first announced the title Daredevil Born Again, I thought, because I overthink everything, that it was an inside reference to the fact that Disney was about to do this kinder, gentler Daredevil.
Yeah.
They changed their minds, went back dark, so now Daredevil is born again.
Yeah, Born Again
But that is
reboot.
not it. And as soon as I
Yeah.
saw Nelson go down, I knew exactly what they meant by that show. Because, I mean, and this is
Yeah.
Charlie Cox gave the best interview in which he did not spoil what happens. But I saw this particular interview today, so I saw it in hindsight.
I didn't watch it.
And
What
it was he's just talking about. He goes, "There's this thing that happens at the very beginning of the series that completely changes Matt Murdock's life," and he goes, "How do you move forward when you just ripped the heart out of the MCU?" And I was like, that was exactly what Foggy was.
Yeah, and I mean, I literally looked at Larry the minute that happened. I said, no, it's called Born Again, so that means Foggy's going to come back. And the next thing you know, 1 year later, I was like, dadgummit.
No. It wasn't 1 year later. It was 1 year later, just like they did in Endgame.
Yeah.
5 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was right off the bat, within the first 5 minutes, one of the most beloved characters from that series gets violently murdered.
Well, and so I'm thinking that part of this Born Again title is because Foggy was basically the conscience of the team.
Absolutely, he was.
Right,
He was the heart.
He kept Murdoch in check.
Oh my
Matt Murdoch in
gosh.
check.
And that
and now
moment-
he's not there.
And when he wasn't there, and that part at the roof where Matt pushes him off the roof.
Oh, Bullseye! I know. Larry and I
Pulls
just went, "Oh my gosh!"
And when he hit the pavement,
yeah,
I was like, "There's no way he's waking up from that. Why is he waking up from that?"
Yeah. Well, okay, so this is when Brent and I almost wanted to pause the show and do a little breakdown and go, "Okay, Matt, look. Your best friend just got murdered in cold blood in front of your eyes.
yeah. You're full of knives.
You are literally full of knives. By the way, I don't know who's making his suits anymore because in season 3, the guy who made his suits got violently murdered by Wilson Fisk.
Yeah.
So clearly, whoever's making these suits not doing a very good job.
Well, isn't it the little lady from The Incredibles? She's got like her own shop. And everything.
Edna Mode.
Yes.
Edna.
No, that was a thing. I mean, not Edna, obviously, but it's Disney, so I was afraid that maybe it would have been.
Maybe
Edna.
it would have. Yeah.
No.
But
Incredibles is Pixar, isn't it?
It is Disney. Yeah, it's still Disney.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I forgot. They
so
buy everything now.
he's on the roof.
But he's got that tailor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Daredevil goes to.
Who
that now
apparently could not get his hands on some knife-proof material. I mean, for crying out loud, even Wilson's Fisk suits could withstand knives.
Oh my gosh! Wait a second. I just had an absolute epiphany. In the show, when he had his first suit created, he said, "It'll stop knives, but don't take any bullets at close range."
Yeah.
That was in the series.
Yes.
So whoever he got to do his new suits did not take that into account.
No, they did
Yes,
not.
yeah.
Absolutely not.
Those
And I,
sons
quite
of-
frankly,
They don't buy,
he should be
they
getting
don't
his
buy the
money back.
material at the same place.
What the
Yeah.
heck?
They do not.
So
So
he
he's
got-
on
You know
the-
what happened? His new tailor gets his material from Temu.
Great. Now they're coming after us.
Oh yeah.
Because they're listening.
Oh yeah, they're
right.
listening. So Brent and I were like, okay, look, dude, if you're gonna cross the line, get it right.
That's right.
I guess he thought, okay, he's half dead. Now I'm gonna throw him off this building and he'll be completely dead. No, you finish the job before you throw him off
That's right.
the roof.
We were like,
And
take,
then-
take one of those many knives sticking out of you,
Yeah.
put it into him.
Yeah,
and
put
then-
it into and someplace important. You know where all the important parts are. You
That's
trained
right.
with stick for years and years.
That's
You know
right.
where the important parts are.
Well, maybe the suit did withstand it. That's why he was sitting there all upset because he just had a bunch of knives sticking in his knife impenetrable suit.
I don't think that was the case.
He was
But in
really
any
mad at
case,
his tailor at that moment.
He
That's what he was thinking about in that moment.
That's what that scream was.
he makes the choice.
$50,000. Dang it!
And I'm bleeding from every orifice. What in the hell? So he does. He makes the choice, right? He crosses the line, as he says. He throws him off the roof. But damn it, Dex survives. I don't know how, but he survives. And so as a result of that, his best friend murdered in front of his eyes and deciding to kill a guy, but the guy didn't die. And we know that Murdoch's a religious guy, so maybe he's thinking, okay, God didn't want this guy to die, but he does want me to stop being a vigilante.
Yep.
So he hangs it up. And he's hung it up for a year by the time we catch up to the reunion with him and Karen in the courtroom where they are sentencing Dex to consecutive life terms.
Yep.
And it was, and I love how they had him trussed up, like they had his hands where he couldn't touch anything. It was pretty cool.
Oh, they had
It was a good little touch.
kind of like Magneto in the plastic cage.
So I have a question. New York does not have the death penalty, right?
Well, in the show, it doesn't.
Well, I'm wondering if they're using that because Bullseye is not done yet, right?
Oh well, he's going to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get him out if he doesn't get out himself.
Because what was it? 11 counts of murder and all that
25.
25 counts of murder, yeah, something like that. So I mean, usually someone like that they get the death penalty, but
You would think.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so then there's this very heartbreaking scene in the lobby between Matt and Karen, in which we now know that she has already gone off to San Francisco, which she says is like New York, but not quite. And she's just living her own life out there, and it really seemed
maybe
at the
she's
end,
an actress.
It seemed like at the end of that scene, they were truly saying goodbye to each other.
I felt that too.
Yeah.
When I was watching that scene. Now, if you remember from the original Netflix Marvel, Matt spends a lot of time trying to convince Karen not to leave, stay with me, kind of things, and she's about to leave. He saves her life again. She doesn't leave. There's that connection that just can't be unbroken. And when Matt said, like, please stay, don't leave, please stay, that was his last plea.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then when she was like, no, I'm just blah 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 blah, Matt was like, fine. He you could see that throw his hands up in the air moment where he was like, you know what, do what you got to do.
Well, and I honestly think that he really wanted her to stay because Foggy
Yes.
was gone, and after Foggy,
But
it
he's
was
always
Karen.
loved her.
It was and we even had a hint of that right before the murder, where he was saying to her, like, you are breaking the friend rule or something like that. It was getting just slightly ever so sexually charged.
Yeah, you could see that stuff was
And
about
then it
to
all
happen
went
if
to
it wasn't
hell, but
already.
I think that it wasn't the fact that he loves her like that. I think it was like he was saying to himself in that scene in the courtroom or in the lobby, I need her to stay because if she leaves, then the safeties are off.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And we saw him make that choice in that moment. It's like, nope, you're right. You're going to go live your life.
Well, but it's like,
and here we go.
You know, I think maybe the reason he didn't fight so hard is because, like, you know, when he meets with Wilson Fisk later in the diner, and he was like, you like that part of yourself. You know, you like that dark part of yourself.
That was such a great
And,
scene. By
yeah,
the way.
and so I'm wondering if, you know, kind of that scene was kind of foreshadowing what Fisk was going to say, because, like you said, he said, "Please stay, give me 5 more minutes, whatever." And then she's like, "No, I'm leaving." He's like, "Fine, whatever," because he's kind of he's given into the dark side, because he knows that if she's not around, that he can become, you know, his darker self.
And that he kind of wants to.
Yeah.
Right? He kind of wants
kinda
to. Now, there's another dynamic at play in the first 2 episodes of the new show, and that is how the relationship between Wilson Fisk and his wife Vanessa has altered.
Yes.
And I mean, that was a really interesting
Is huge.
wrench in the works, because at the end of season 3, Fisk, who's just had the crap beat out of him by Daredevil, agrees to keep Matt Murdock's secret. And by the way, can we talk about how careless he is with his identity? Oh my God. Anyway, in season 3 of the Netflix series, Fisk and Murdock come to an agreement where Fisk agrees to not go after Karen Nelson not go after Karen Page and Foggy Nelson, and agrees to keep Matt's secret. And in turn, Murdock, Daredevil, agrees not to go after Vanessa, which he had absolutely threatened to do.
Oh, yeah.
So they shake on that. And that's the end of that storyline, or so we thought. Now it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
And things have obviously changed, because while Wilson Fisk went away to prison, his wife Vanessa basically took over the criminal empire.
Yeah.
And she's done very well for herself.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
and
but-
now Fisk is not doing the, he seems almost genuine. If he's pulling strings from another side, apart from that moment where he actually showed his capability of blackmail,
Yeah.
which was fine.
Yeah.
It's like, if he is actually running anything else, then I'm not convinced that he is not earnest about
but I never-
forcibly making sure that Hell's Kitchen in New York is safe.
I never bought into the love story in season 3.
What?
Of him and Vanessa. To me, the whole time she was using him, she had a goal in mind, and he was the way to get there.
Oh, I don't
and
know
then
about
him
that.
and then him going to prison was her opportunity to get what she, because you made the comment last night. You know, she found something better than love while he was gone. Power.
Yep.
Well,
You know?
if he's gone and she just has to make do with what she's got, I don't know. I think that that Vanessa did, but Vanessa became almost criminalized with Kingpin because she didn't have that direction before him. She just had the capability.
I was going to say it was one of those things where it was there, the potential was there.
Oh, sure.
But she just wasn't around. She wasn't in an environment that would nurture that potential. And with Kingpin, she found that, so she got to feed that
Yeah.
kind of lust for power type thing.
Yeah.
And now they're in
just
counseling.
and she doesn't want to be there. Obviously, he does. She doesn't. But honestly, in episode or season 3, the whole time I was going, she's just using him.
See, I honestly...
She may actually love him, but she's
didn't
using him to
think
get
that.
power.
I didn't get that.
I didn't think that. I think
Well,
that she
I'm just
saw...
more cynical than you guys.
No, it's cool to hear the different side of it
Yeah.
because I mean when you're telling us about how it looks from your perspective, I mean I will not disagree that it could be played that way, but two criminals absolutely loving each other is a strange dynamic.
Yeah.
I mean that's Hannah McKay and Dexter Morgan.
Well, especially someone like Wilson Fisk, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's
honestly,
the definition of a sociopath.
The way that I saw that relationship play out in the Netflix series was she saw this extremely powerful man who was also extremely broken
Yeah.
and who had never been in love with anyone or anything and had only ever looked out for himself. And now
Ooh, I
suddenly,
can fix that.
Yeah. And that's, yeah. And,
Girl.
and so,
Girl.
yeah.
Girlfriend.
Girl.
So I never heard or saw any subtext that suggested she was deliberately manipulating him emotionally or anything like that. Like, because there's that line and we were
Well,
watching
no.
where
Don't
she
get me wrong.
says, "All I wanted was you."
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying she was emotionally manipulating him. I'm saying she had an underlying, I'm going to call it lust for the power that goes along with someone like Wilson
Once she
Fisk.
got a taste.
Yeah, and
I'd
so,
agree with that.
Yeah,
I would
and
agree
so,
with that.
And
Yeah.
so she realized that if she stuck with him, she could feed that, right? And maybe her ambition was to eventually either run the empire with him, and she was presented the opportunity to take it over when he had to go to prison.
Yeah.
Right.
It seemed like she had a sense of acceptance. That's when I saw that thing. I mean, it's like she never had that direction, but when she finally found out that Kingpin was what he was, she's like, I think I can adapt to this. And she adapted to the world, and now we have counseling because Fisk is giving the impression that he really wants to fix New York, but he definitely wants to get rid of the vigilantes.
Well,
Of course.
But there's another thing there too, and it was if he's legit wants to like fix New York, yes, okay, but of course he's got to do it his way, and
Yeah.
we now know beyond any shadow of a doubt that his way is horrible for people.
Fill the hole.
Yeah, it's horrible for people. And so, and then of course it's going to get more complicated because we now know that Matt Murdock is very attracted to the person who just happens to be their marriage counselor.
Here we go.
So yeah, it's going to get. But there was a reference in the diner scene where Fisk and Murdoch are catching up with each other, and Fisk asks Murdoch, "Do you have kids?" And he says, "No." And he says, "You?" And he goes, I tried to mentor someone." Which was a direct reference to Echo, another series.
That goes-
How'd that turn out?
Yeah. And-
Didn't she shoot you in the head?
Did you get that?
I'm sorry. Matt taking stabs at him,
Oh, that
just
was
trying to get a
awesome.
rise out of him because
Yeah.
you could see them both like silently combating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fisk wants to bring Matt's dark side out in that restaurant.
Well, so there was a
and
there was a
Matt
line
wants to bring out Kingpin's dark side in that restaurant.
When Kingpin said it's not totally, it's not entirely unpleasant to see you. At first I was like, oh, maybe he softened up a little bit in prison, or whatever. But no, then I'm like, no. He wants to be there because he wants that interaction. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all so good, and I can't wait to see where it goes. But let's talk just briefly about the fact that there are at least two. Well, actually, hang on. There is one character that we saw, and I love the way they introduced White Tiger.
Yeah.
So White Tiger is another street level superhero. He's an ex-army guy who has this, I think it runs in the family. He's got this magical amulet that gives him certain abilities. And he's just basically another street level vigilante. They don't say a damn thing about him except the fact that we see some, convenience store footage of him busting up a robbery.
Right.
And then that character actually winds up getting into a tussle on the subway with two undercover cops who were roughing up this other guy. They did not identify themselves.
Didn't even know that they were cops.
They didn't know that
Well,
they
he
were
did-
cops.
Yeah, I mean, after the guy tripped and went into the train, the other guy goes, police.
Yeah, then.
Yeah.
And
So-
he's like, oh,
Yeah.
damn.
So they've introduced another vigilante in White Tiger, but they haven't said anything about. They've just made a couple of references. He goes because he says to Murdoch in the interrogation room, "I wasn't even wearing my amulet."
Yeah.
Right?
And
So-
I don't know a lot about the White Tiger character. The only thing
suspect
I
we're
thought
gonna
I
find
did,
out.
I thought White Tiger was a woman. So the direction that they're going, I started to think to myself, it's like, are they just going to keep with White Tiger as a man? Or is this dude going to be on death row and then his wife or daughter or something like that gets the
Well,
amulet?
he's now being represented by Matt Murdock, so he's gonna get off.
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, but we've got that new character
They got the
introduced. but
continuance,
then
at least.
There's an old character and a new character who are going to show up at some point in the series. Of course, we do know that Johnny Bernthal's Punisher is
Okay.
coming back.
I want to take bets right now. What episode do you think they're going to show the Punisher?
3.
Next one.
The next one.
You think so?
Absolutely. Tattoo on the wrist. And so my daughter and I were having a conversation about this last night because she's watching him with me. And we saw the tattoo on the wrist. And I said, Zealot.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows that the Punisher has killed so many. but all bad guys.
Yeah.
I mean, he has his own method of justice,
Yep.
and not a lot of people agree with it from the justice side, except for, can you imagine, cops that haven't been able to
Yeah.
you know, do something about the real criminal problem
Right.
in New York.
By the way, speaking of that fight scene between him and those two cops,
Holy shnikes.
Holy
so
goodness.
good. And they brought back the stunt coordinator from the original Netflix series.
Did they?
To do that?
Oh,
Yeah.
question. Do you guys think that the two cops that Matt fought are dead, or just one of them?
No, I don't think
Or
either
any
of
of
them.
them.
I don't think either of them are dead.
The way that dude hit the ground with his folding neck.
Yes, he did do the folding neck trick. Oh, but also
Trick.
I think that
Look what I can do.
If you say that, there are stuntmen on Instagram
Oh,
who
no.
regularly do that stunt
Yeah.
to show
Oh, no,
you.
I'm
what
sure
they
that
can
the
do.
Yeah, the
stuntman is
stuntman.
still
I'm saying-
alive,
I'm
but
just
is
saying-
the character
No,
still
I
alive?
think those characters are both still alive because, quite frankly, I think Murdoch may say to himself, "Okay, I'm this guy now,"
Yeah.
but I just don't. I mean, first of all, he sucks at it, being a killer. Because if you throw a guy off a building and he doesn't die, you're just not very good at killing people.
Well, yeah, and I don't want to step on the joke, but he doesn't want to,
Yeah.
right? And the things that he does, they can ultimately end
So-
up in that. But one of the big things about Matt is very tied. Daredevil and Matt Murdock, historically and today, are still very tied to their faith.
Oh yeah.
Well, and so that's I was actually going to bring this up as one of our talking points is the struggle, his internal struggle with who he wants to be and who he is, right? Daredevil and Matt Murdock,
Yeah.
basically. And you know, I've noticed that if you go back and you look, so Kevin Feige's at the helm, right?
Sure.
A lot of the stuff he does, that's the characters are struggling with their identity, who they are, who they want to be, who they're forced to be by situations, whatever. And you know, I'm going to coin a new term, the Feigegeist.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Explain, Lucy.
that's
like
that's
it.
the Feigegeist of Marvel. Is
His
he
character struggling with their
has,
identity.
internal struggles with these characters.
Yeah, but that's the fun thing about those characters. I think that's one of the reasons why you and I really revere characters like Spidey and Daredevil. You know, they don't have it easy.
Yeah.
They don't
Right.
have
Yeah.
Tony's money.
Yeah,
they don't have omnipotence.
That's what makes them so relatable. I mean, these street level heroes are my favorite
Yeah,
because you know
absolutely.
they're regular Joes. They happen to be talented at something, but they don't necessarily have superpowers.
There was a
But
Well,
they're just
hang
like
on,
us, basically.
hang on. I have to say this. There's a moment during.
I mean, kind of.
Punisher.
There was a There was
Okay.
a moment during the bar fight where Bullseye is throwing all these forks, and I was like, "It's the Blue Raja," which is a reference to a film called Mystery Men. Look it up. Hank Azaria, brilliant.
Yeah.
But I like that is the hardest I think I've ever made him laugh.
What about the glass doors?
Oh yeah,
Like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that whole fight scene's going on, and I'm like, ooh, the glass doors. Everybody be careful. And they fold over and they don't shatter. And I'm like, oh, well, all right. But what was that? Was that like a mahjong parlor or something?
Was the one in the back of the bar? where
Yes,
they're
Yeah.
fighting? Yeah, I don't
It was
know.
a little
That
weird.
was
It
pretty
was
funny.
like
Yeah.
because from it looks just like a dive bar.
Josie,
And
what are
like,
you doing with a
What are you
mahjong
doing
parlor?
back here? What's going on back here? Yeah. Anyway, you were about to talk about the Punisher.
Oh, yeah. So something that Brent said kind of set off my nerd brain in a very horrible way. Punisher has no superpowers.
Right.
He has brutality as his superpower.
Right.
But Spidey and Daredevil do. You know, they are street level. So
Right.
can Spidey and Daredevil take on Thanos? No.
No.
You know, but at the same time, those powers are what make them, you know, unique.
Well, first of all, we did see Spidey take on Thanos.
Yeah.
We did for a second.
Yeah, but I
Magic
just-
punch.
You know,
Magic kick.
Yeah.
Magic with a kick.
I just think those
Magic with a.
those you know, like Spidey's powers and stuff. I mean, those contribute to his struggle, though, right?
Totally.
Yeah. So they just kind of exacerbate.
Yeah, I didn't play
his issue.
football before, and I probably shouldn't now.
Yeah.
I loved that reference. We
That
didn't
was-
go back to
yeah.
a spider bite. We just got that. And
Yep.
it's the same thing with Matt. Matt realizes what kind of power he could have.
Yeah.
You know, he was trained to be a killer.
He was indeed.
Stick and Stone did not train Matt to be.
A guy who just beats people up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like that scene out of that Chris Nolan Batman.
Yeah.
You know, Batman was being trained to be an assassin.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Well,
nope, I'm going to take it in a different direction.
And it's
so
funny
did
that
Matt.
and that's a great thing to bring up, Micah, because in season 2 of Daredevil, when we've got the Elektra storyline, it was two sides of that coin. It was Elektra and Daredevil, right?
Yeah.
Both trained by the same guy, but she embraced that darkness.
Yes, she did.
And Matt,
Best Elektra ever.
absolutely. And Matt, probably because of his faith, was fighting against it. Right?
100%.
He would walk up to the line, but he would never cross it.
100%.
And now he feels like he crossed it when he tried to kill Bullseye.
Yeah.
And because he even tried to do that,
He's crossed the line.
he feels like I can't do this anymore because this is what I will become. But now a year later, Fisk is the mayor of New York City. Karen is no longer his anchor. Foggy is gone. Things are getting worse. So,
He's got one more person that he can reconnect with.
and that is,
His priest.
well, no, because that guy died.
Did he?
He
Oh,
he
yeah. Did I
died
forget
in season
that?
Yeah,
3.
in season 3.
He was murdered by Bullseye.
That's one of the very last scenes of season 3. Is he goes back to the church.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. Matt should just go be a killer.
I mean, you are what you are, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if the dark side of
Or if he just finds another priest. Wait, his mom is still alive.
far as we know, Joanna Whaley, love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just impressed that you remember her character. That's awesome.
Oh no,
Yeah.
she was.
She was in that final scene with them in season 3.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yep.
they had that. They had that moment down in the. I mean, it's not a basement,
It's not a crypt. It's a.
but it was. Let's
No,
call
it's
it
a basement of the church.
Crypt. Yeah, it's a cryptment.
Yeah, they discuss a lot of fun
they-
things, including the second third of the cigar.
There you go.
Oh, hey.
Well, Micah, the problem is
what is the problem, Brent?
he's way ahead of us.
I don't.
Oh, you guys set it down a while ago.
Well, Mike and I are a lot closer than
Yeah.
you are. So,
So
I
are you
feel
not
like-
are you not digging it as much?
No, I am. I'm taking my time with it.
Oh, okay.
I can think of several different reasons why you shouldn't. But Micah, what is your opinion of the cigar here where you are right now?
The various pinch of white pepper
Ooh.
with earthy, and I'm still getting cedar.
I've gone into a buttery mouthfeel.
I am not there.
I'm not there
But
either.
I am definitely getting white pepper on the back end. Yes,
Very
the very
back.
back
Yeah.
end. Yeah,
And it's just like it's like right as you exhale everything, and then white pepper,
yeah.
and it goes away.
It's almost like that dude on Instagram who does this shit. It's really good though. This is a great cigar. This is
digging
my
it.
second time smoking the Fittipaldi, and this exact one exactly, or not this exact cigar, but one that was also made in '99, because you can't smoke the cigar twice. Wouldn't that be fun if you could though? Wouldn't that be fun if you could?
Well, if you had the time stone,
Then
then you could just
damn
watch this. Okay, fire that bitch up again.
Okay. Now it's time for the part of the show that we call speculation. What do you think is going to happen now?
I think that Daredevil's going to go off the chain.
You think?
So you just think, okay, Karen's gone.
I think they're
last
gonna,
anchor's gone.
I think he's
to hell
gonna,
with it.
I think it's going to be a story arc where he goes to the bottom, man. He just becomes, he crosses that line. He just goes off the chain.
Well-
and then he has to deal, and then he's got the struggle going. By the end of this series, he's going to be just like, what am I doing? You know?
So some of the fight scenes that we've seen cut together in some of the teaser trailers definitely suggest that. Micah?
Okay.
I couldn't tell if you had to pee or you're really excited.
I
to say
thought he
something
had
over
to
there.
pee.
Very excited. Normally I have to pee, everybody. Sorry. But we don't have to take a break. Okay. With everything that just happened, we have the potential to go into a comic storyline that I am super freaking excited to see if it happens. It is called the Shadowland storyline.
Okay.
Okay. Daredevil
Chris nods.
becomes the leader of the Hand.
Really?
Okay. If he has gone down all these, I love it. You go down all of these dark paths and nothing is restricting him anymore. It's not just about going out to the streets to have a bunch of murderous intent. You know, I'm going to just absolutely just, you know what? Frank was right. Let's just go and kill people. No. He has the opportunity now to go into this, and this would be the perfect opportunity to bring back Elektra.
So you think this is could be Murdoch's version of, because he's consumed with Fisk and the fact that Fisk is the mayor of New York, that this is his idea of fighting fire with fire?
It would be a way of attacking something that he can't legally attack. Now, right now, he's in a place where he's got a good job. He's got some decent relationships. It's a year later. He's still keeping Foggy's memorial thing in his jacket every time.
Yeah.
But a couple more events have to happen for the Shadowlands story to start taking shape. I'm not saying that that's going to happen. If it does, but if it doesn't, let's see what happens. You know.
Well, I wonder if he's going to get so far off the chain that Punisher's going to walk in and go, "Dude, what are you doing?"
Or nice work.
Yeah, could be either one.
More
of those,
team ups
honestly.
then. Let's do this.
Oh man, that would be cool though. And I'm super excited that John Bernthal is coming.
Me too.
back as
Me
the
too.
Punisher. I just,
Oh my gosh.
he is hands down the best Punisher that ever was.
Ever.
And
Ever.
I love him to death as an actor. I love his portrayal of Frank Castle and the torture and the pain. And here's the other thing. But she died in Defenders. Here's the thing that I love about both Charlie Cox and John Bernthal doing these characters. There's never one scene where they don't have some sort of serious abrasion or contusion on their face.
Yeah, every single scene.
They
Every
have
single
always
scene.
been out of a fight where it's very clear that they
Yeah.
got their asses kicked.
So speaking of, what about the scene where just before, I think it was just before the commissioner was going to come in and resign, and Fisk is eating that sandwich, and they show a close-up of his knuckles, and his knuckles are all scraped up.
Yeah.
Yes, he was in a fight. See, that was
Clearly
the
he
one
was.
thing that kind of tripped me off to all of this persona that he's throwing out there to show that he can tackle problems a different way. No,
Well,
he went to town on somebody.
But did he go to down on somebody, or did he go to town on an inanimate object? Because we've seen him do that plenty of times too.
you know what? I'll give you that.
So
maybe,
but that would indicate that internal struggle is real and that he's having it. So he either went out and beat the shit out of somebody, or he got mad at his house or whatever and took it out. Because oh my gosh,
Concrete
that
punching
that
bag?
scene
Yeah.
that scene the fight scene in the end of season 3 between
When he hits the brick
Daredevil
wall.
Bullseye, where he hits the brick wall, he screams, but he put a hole in a solid brick wall.
oh yeah,
I was like,
Oh,
and
Oh
then
my
of
gosh.
course he completely paralyzed Dex by cracking his spine against the corner of that wall. I know. That was actually really
your
cool.
footfalls are a little bit lighter. Did you lose some weight?
Yeah. Well, okay, so
All those little stabs.
but you know what? I mean, I'm actually I think that was written in on purpose, because I think if they hadn't, people were going to go, what happened to Wilson Fisk's character?
Yeah.
And what happened to Wilson Fisk's character was Vincent D'Onofrio said, guys, I'm at the age where I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I cannot continue to put on that kind of weight. So I either need to get more muscular, which I'm happy to do because
Or
I
a
like to
bigger
go to the gym,
bodysuit.
or I need a bigger bodysuit, or because he never had a bodysuit.
yeah,
In the
he didn't
first
need it.
3 seasons, he did not have a
He just-
bodysuit.
he just put on
He
the
would
weight,
put
yeah.
on that weight.
Yeah.
And you reach a certain age, and guys who've done this in the past, actors who've done this in the past, like De Niro is one that I'm thinking of.
Oh, and the Batman guy, Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Oh my
He's-
God,
yeah.
yeah.
Holy goodness.
You do reach a certain age where your body's just like, enough. We can't do that
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
So I'm happy for Vincent that they found a compromise where he can still come back as this hugely intimidating character. And this is something that you said last night at the diner scene. We're watching that 2-shot, and Brent just goes, look how much bigger his head is than Charlie Cox's head. And it was like it was like
Yeah.
a giant talking to a toddler.
Yeah,
It was
like
just
a-
he could put that through a brick wall.
yeah. So it will be interesting to see like where that all plays out. But so you think Shadowland Storyland?
Oh,
that's
fingers
what
crossed.
you're hoping for.
Fingers crossed.
right?
Oh, and White Tiger. I think that this is an opportunity, especially seeing the age of the actor that they hired for this. I think that Matt might actually lose, and that the amulet's going to go to someone else. This will be an opportunity to get a younger, more spry White Tiger.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you said Matt might actually lose. Oh, you mean
The court. I think
legal
I think he might lose the court case.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, all right.
may have another. Thank you.
Well, that would be interesting because because here's one of the things that I always do worry about whenever these shows come up is that, as Marvel fans, we're all like, oh, we want to see this character and this character and this character. And you can go too far. You can have too many characters.
Right.
To where we can't, first of all, you can't develop full out character plot and story arcs for all of them. So some of them have to fall by the wayside and then you're disappointed. Or, but not like, so we know we've got White Tiger. We know we've got the Punisher. And we know that we've got one of the most nasty serial killers in all of Marvel history that has not made an appearance yet. Or did he at the book signing? Do you think that was Muse?
I don't know. Maybe.
Do you think that was Muse?
Maybe.
That kid. Yeah.
Because the second he showed up, I was like,
Yeah, he literally goes, "Is that Muse?"
I said, do you think that's Muse? Yeah. And I will go on record now as saying I think that it was.
I might have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about the Muse character, though. Do you?
I know a little bit about the Muse character. I know that he is a horrific serial killer,
Yeah.
but he's also an artiste, or considers himself to be an artiste.
Wow.
And so,
So Matt Murdock's girlfriend is his
muse.
psychologist to the stars.
Mm-hmm. Well, because he asks her straight up, because he has her sign a copy of her book.
I've got problems.
And he asks
Will you
her,
fix me?
Can you work me in? Are you seeing new patients? I think is the question that he asked.
Clients.
And the second that he did that, I was like, oh, I think that might be Muse, because if he winds up being rebuffed by her, then he develops a fixation on her. Mm-hmm. And now that chick has got problems coming left and right. Because not only is she about to be stalked by a serial killer, but she's trying to mediate between Wilson and Vanessa Fisk.
Yeah.
Which would sort of like being a chihuahua in between two Rottweilers who are getting ready to fight.
I didn't actually look this up, but did the psychiatrist kind of look like the girl in Guatemala that was flirting with Bruce Banner?
Wait, what?
And I'm not saying it's the same character.
Wait, what?
But maybe the same actor.
Guatemala.
Yeah, so at the beginning of Incredible Hulk, Bruce is
Lord,
in Guatemala
no,
in the factory.
Dude, I'm out.
And he protects that girl.
I'm out.
That little girl.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I was wondering. Her face is very similar to this
I have no
actress.
idea. I have no
If only
idea.
there were a place where we could look that kind of stuff
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, well, we'll do that later.
Yeah,
We'll do that later.
later.
But okay, so the speculation part. You think that Shadowlands, or you hope Shadowlands, you think Matt's going to go completely off the rails.
Yep.
I am inclined to agree with you. At least for a little while, I think that's what's going to happen, because I do think, a la Shadowlands, that Matt may get to a point where he feels like this is the only way.
Yeah.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, you become the thing that you despise.
Yep.
So it's very possible. But, they have been telegraphing this in every single interview since before the show dropped.
Yeah.
Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio and the showrunners and the writers have all been saying, you guys don't understand. We got the green light to go dark on this. So we're going all
on.
the way dark. And I think a lot of that was they were telegraphing that we're going to kill off a beloved character, which they did in the first episode.
Oh my gosh.
Holy crap.
I got a last question for you guys.
Yeah.
How do you both... Now, one of the nice things about watching things like a Spider-Man movie or something is that he's in the costume most of the time, and he's doing his Spidey thing.
Right.
And most heroes are in their costume doing their hero thing. One of the things that I noticed in the Netflix Marvel and these first two episodes of Born Again is that we have a lot of time without Matt in the costume.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There is a lot of story. There is a lot of build-up. I mean, if he fights in his normal form, that's one thing. Even in Defenders, I was irritated that he found a woman's scarf and put it over his face to hide his anonymity.
It wasn't just a woman. It was Jessica Jones.
The
It was
scarf?
her scarf, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because she goes, you look like an idiot. And he goes, it's your scarf. So the answer, so no, that if I'm answering your question, Mike, the answer is no. And the reason is because a big part of the appeal for me, for these street level superheroes, is I want to see them in their daily lives. I want to see that struggle. I want to see how what they are doing in their real life is impacting and forcing or coercing the decisions that they're now going to make in their alter ego.
I want to see a balance. Like I really don't want to see a fourth in the costume and 3/4 in the character exploration.
But I get that. But I think that it's the journey that's the exciting part, right? It's the struggle to find that balance.
Okay, were you
Right.
disappointed then in season 3 of Daredevil on Netflix where he went back to the black?
No, because that was the original Frank Miller.
Right.
That was the original black and the white wrap knuckles and all that stuff.
Tie style, baby.
So that I was okay with.
Okay.
I will tell you that.
All right.
I mean, I didn't need him to be in his final costume, but I kind of wanted it.
I get it. I get it. I don't necessarily feel that way because that's almost like fan service at some point where it's like bang, there it was.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm gonna put a little score tally above us.
I know.
Anytime we knock the microphone.
I'm right-handed. I'm trying so hard. I'm not just ashing on the floor, people.
That's what he says. All right. Hey, get that stinger ready, buddy, because we have just about gotten to the end of this episode, and it's time for a little thing that we like to call.
It's the greatest joke in the world.
Wait for it. Yeah, that's my favorite part of that stinger. This is a segment of the show that we call the greatest joke in the world. Here's how it works. Every episode, we are going to go 3 rounds of dad jokes between us. And we do this after we've had a little bit to drink. I've noticed suspiciously that Micah has been holding off on the bourbon tonight. So I suspect that Micah's doing that on purpose because Micah doesn't want to laugh because Micah is a very competitive person.
You just called me a coward.
Did I?
You did.
Okay. If the shoe fits,
All right.
if the hoodie fits,
If the hoodie fits.
wear it. So we're gonna do 3 rounds of dad jokes. Anybody who cracks, including our producer Chris Hockenberry, has to do a shot of Rocktown bourbon, which, as we have clearly established on the show, may be one of the worst whiskeys of all time. Last episode, I had to do a full shot of it. Now tonight, because
We're not shooting all of that.
we're not shooting a Glencairn. All right, these are the only glasses that we have tonight that are as close to shot glasses. So we will pour a fair amount if one of us has to, but we will not be going all the way up there because that equals alcohol poisoning, and no one wants that.
I mean, I think 2 shots at 2 fingers is alcohol poisoning.
Anyway, okay, who would like to start with their greatest joke in the world this week?
You go, Brent.
I can.
Okay,
I went the last couple times.
All right.
Well, I realized I seem to only get sick on the weekdays. I must have a weakened immune system.
Oh, I get it. You just laughed at your own joke.
Oh, dang it.
You just laughed at your own joke. Michael, would you be so kind?
Yeah, sure.
This is how it starts.
Yeah. And it never ends well. Now, now I am not going to pour this. I'm going to let you be, because I know you're
Pour your own
you're an
punishment.
honest guy. Pour your own
If I
punishment.
could-
Pour your own punishment.
Remember when you had to go get your own switch that your grandma was going to beat your ass with? It's kind of like that.
Go get it off the tree.
Yeah. Oh, it did it again.
Oh, I'm never gluing that.
This is so
It's
bad.
really stuck, guys. Hold on.
Okay.
It's still like it sounds like it's coming out of a tin.
That's actually the sound. That's actually the same sound it makes when it hits your stomach.
Will you hand me that horrible cork topper?
Why? I mean,
don't
why?
think yeah, why? Because it's just going to come off again. All right. Oh, no, that's good,
Whoa,
buddy.
whoa,
That's
whoa,
good.
slow
you're
your
good.
roll,
You're good.
baby.
You're good. You're good.
You remember the punishment after this is
Yeah.
horrible. So make it last.
Can I pour some back in?
It wouldn't
All right, here we
matter.
go.
Down the hatch. Oh, well done, sir. Well done.
Oof.
Hurt your feelings, didn't it?
I heard the word curses.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. That's too
okay.
much, by the way.
it is. You guys, you know what? I took a poll recently, and I discovered that 100% of people inside the tent were very upset. Boom!
That was so dumb.
It was dumb.
But I accept my punishment.
It was dumb. There you go, buddy.
Thank you.
It was super dumb.
Oh, that's enough.
Yeah, no, that's seriously, that's enough. Dude, no,
Oh no! That's
No,
that's
no.
enough. All's fair in love and poison.
Oh God. Yeah.
I'm sorry. The nose on this is better than the Woodford. Okay.
What?
Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now, in 5 minutes,
Shit's
when Micah
growing on me.
Oh, that's a terrible idea.
I know.
That is a terrible idea.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
I lost my pizza cutter,
Oh.
so I used my Bryan Adams CD. Cuts like a knife.
But it feels so right.
Yes. Wait, do I drink to that? That was my exclamation of yes.
Okay, yeah. We'll say the joke was over.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we need to change the rules a little bit because
Well, no. If you
you
laugh
laugh-
at your own joke,
no,
you
but
totally
if you laugh at other people's reactions, you shouldn't have to drink.
you should if you laugh at
I
other
like
people's
that.
reactions,
Yeah,
you shouldn't have to drink. Okay.
like the time you flipped me off and I laughed and you made me take a drink.
I think I flipped you off.
Yeah, I was saying
Yeah.
you. Yeah,
Well,
I don't
we've all
think I
really
made you
flipped you
take-
off. So I mean, who could count these days?
I don't know. Oh, dang. Yeah, my turn.
your turn.
Bing. All right, Brent, round 2. Round 2.
Well, speaking of Marvel, I don't get why they don't use the Hulk to advertise more. I mean, basically, he's just one big banner.
I'll give you points for clever.
It was clever.
I liked it.
I liked it too.
I ain't gonna laugh.
No,
Yeah, because I think we've done our requisite shot.
I'm
We're
not
good.
gonna lie. All right, I'm saving that one for the last round. I will say this. I was in a restaurant, and I said to the server, "Can I ask you a question about the menu, please?" And she slapped me. And then she said, "The menu, please, is none of your damn business." That was
I
close.
like that one.
That was a close
I'm
one.
not laughing because I know that joke.
Oh,
And he said
damn,
that.
okay.
I was like, yep.
Yeah, all right. All right, Michael.
All
What do you
right,
got?
this requires audience participation.
Okay.
Okay. I heard someone around here is acting like an owl. Thank you. I've done my job if everybody's going.
That's right.
So you know what? Happy with it.
That's right.
Okay, so let's move on to round 3.
Okay,
See what
well,
we got.
I was getting my eyes examined the other day, and the doctor told me I was colorblind. I mean, the news came right out of the purple.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, are you gonna crack?
No,
Are you? Your lip is doing that thing.
it was quivering.
It was.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Chris
gonna cry.
laughed. He has to do a shot.
Oh, Chris laughed. Do we have a shot glass for this man? He brought his own. Come on, buddy, step right on up.
All right.
Get yourself a lovely shot of Rocktown bourbon.
Here, since you decided to do such a very large glass, I'll just go ahead.
hey, easy.
That's fair.
Yeah, we'll call that fair.
All right, we'll call it fair.
All right. Hawk is about to take his punishment like a man who's dressed in orange. If you could see this, I don't even know.
No, pour one out for your homies.
Pour one out for your homies.
No, you got to drink it.
You pour it all out for your homies.
Yeah, right.
He knows a lot of
Industrial-
homies.
You know what? I love my homies so much.
Yeah. Industrial's going to come in the morning and go, "Who poured whiskey all over the carpet?" What was that? It was that bad. Okay, wait. Is it my turn to go?
It's Brent's.
No, I just went
Brent just went.
What'd you just do?
the colorblind.
He
joke.
did the
that's right,
colorblind.
that's
Okay, so it is my. All right. A guy was going on a date, and it was going very well. And he asked the woman, "Do you have any kids?" And she replied, "I have one that's just under 2." And the man got very offended, and he said, "I know how many 1 is."
I'll drink to that on purpose. That's good. I like that. Was exceptionally dumb.
I had to reach for that joke, man. I was like doing my studies. Go for it, buddy. Nice one, Micah.
Oof.
All right. Last joke goes to Micah Donahoe.
All right. You know, when Rocky came out, they used to talk about Eye of the Tiger,
Yeah.
but they never really talk about the other 4 letters.
The delivery is what got it.
Yes. I was gonna say I actually was gonna do that joke one time. but
Oh, really?
I thought, it's too corny.
They never talk about the other letters. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh my gosh, we're getting so low.
We're not gonna have enough for. You didn't bring the other stuff, did you?
Oh, no. No, we have enough in there. Okay. If you guys pour like you don't want to die.
Yeah.
What is the fun in that?
True story.
All right.
True story.
And that's going to do it for this week's edition of...
The greatest joke in the world.
I just realized the scream at the end is that's Larry after he had Rocktown.
I'm not drinking that. I'm not drinking that
That
one.
wasn't a dad joke. That wasn't a
That
dad
was
joke.
good.
Yeah, that was a dead joke.
Oh my gosh, that was funny. Hey guys, that is going to do it for this week's edition of Nerdherfers. We have been talking about Daredevil Born Again. It's on Disney Plus right now. Please go out and watch the show. You will not be disappointed. Even if you've never watched Daredevil before, first of all, what the hell is wrong with you? I would highly suggest that you go onto Netflix. Sorry, no, all of them are on Disney Plus now. Watch the first 3 seasons to get a feel, and then definitely hit Born Again. Oh, it is so good, and
Great
it's made
start.
us so happy to talk about it. Hey, one more time. Please go out to nerdherfers.com and subscribe. Become a part of the Nerdherfers community. Go out to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@Nerdherfers and subscribe to that and give us some likes. Give us some comments. If there was a part of that 2 episodes that we didn't talk about that you wanted to bring up, by all means, hit us up in the comment section. We would love to hear what you have to say. And that's going to do it for us this week. I am Larry Brantley along with Micah Donahoe.
Thank you, Industrial.
Brent Williams.
Keep shirt on.
Our producer, Chris Hockenberry. Yes, thank you very much to Industrial Cigar Company. We will be coming to you from Industrial again next week with a brand new topic, some brand new cigars, and a new bottle of whiskey. And we're probably going to kill that stupid bottle of Rocktown.
Kill the Rocktown.
Because Micah had some damn good jokes this week. I will give it to you, brother. You did great. Thank you.
Oh, snort! Yeah, we got a snort!
I'm not drinking that. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. This has been a production of Nerdherfers. Copyright 2025, all rights reserved. No portion of this broadcast may be used without permission. Please visit nerdherfers.com for more information and full legal disclaimer.